Standard push-ups are solid, but if you're serious about packing on muscle, you need to switch things up. So I'll discuss 5 push-up variations that hit different angles and muscle groups. Whether you're adding them between other chest sets or building your entire chest routine from them, these moves are guaranteed to accelerate your gains. But first, why do you need push-up variations in the first place? Push-up variations target different muscles and angles that standard push-ups or even traditional gym equipment can miss. Plus, let's look at how the pectoral muscles function. The bigger pectoral muscle is tied between your sternum and clavicle on one side and a shoulder muscle at the other end. So you can create a stronger contraction when you bring the insertion points closer together, specifically through both shoulder adduction and flexion. Many traditional chest exercises emphasize shoulder abduction, which moves the arms outward. While this does work the chest, it can also stress your shoulder joints, particularly rotator cuffs. But when you do both shoulder adduction and flexion, you force your chest to work through multiple planes of motion, mimicking the natural functions of the pectorals while engaging stabilizer muscles to maintain control. With that in mind, let's move on to the best push-up variations you can't miss. First, we have clap push-ups. Clap push-ups are explosive, so they engage fast-twitch muscle fibers essential for power and growth. Research has shown that clap push-ups generate 13% more peak vertical ground reaction force compared to other plyometric variations, so they're one of the most intense upper body exercises. This movement involves more elbow flexion displacement and peak flight, increasing intensity and recruiting more muscle fibers in the chest, shoulders, and triceps. This increased force improves your muscle endurance, power, and strength. Here's a pro tip to make the most out of them. Focus on generating power from your core and pushing the ground away from your body, and not your body away from the ground. Engage your lats for added control when you clap, not just your chest and arms. Next, let's look at Mike Tyson push-ups. This is basically a 2-in-1 exercise that merges push-up and squat mechanics to build functional strength, power, and endurance. So, you'll go from a child's pose into a push-up, pressing both horizontally and vertically. This hybrid movement activates your chest, shoulders, triceps, quads, and core in a way that standard push-ups can't. Besides, the Mike Tyson push-up focuses on explosiveness and total body coordination. Unlike slower traditional push-ups, this variation requires you to move fast, rocking forward and backward with explosive force, but also some fluidity. Moving at a quicker pace ramps up your heart rate, providing cardiovascular benefits similar to burpees, while also helping to burn calories and increase endurance. Besides, improving explosiveness and stability carries over to improving performance in compound lifts like the incline bench press and overhead press. Another hidden gem of Mike Tyson push-ups is the flexibility and mobility they develop in your shoulders and spine. The result is they will correct postural issues, particularly if you spend a lot of time sitting. One key tip is to avoid piking your hips too high when transitioning between movements. The point is to maintain the tension in your muscles and challenge your body to stabilize itself during the rocking motion. And if you want to genuinely push your limits, add a weighted vest to level up the challenge. If power and explosiveness are your primary goals, cap your sets at 10 reps with a focus on speed and form. Number 3 on our list is diamond push-ups. In a study conducted to compare muscle activation in traditional, diamond, and knuckle push-ups among trained men, researchers found that traditional push-ups led to the highest activation of the bigger pectoral muscle and anterior deltoid, while diamond push-ups generated the most activation in the triceps. That's because this variation shifts much of the load from your chest to the triceps. For maximum tricep activation, focus on keeping your elbows tucked in throughout the movement and lower your chest directly over the diamond shape of your hands. By contrast, a more neutral position targets the chest more effectively. Pike push-ups are fourth here. This push-up variation primarily targets your shoulders and upper chest. This movement mimics the early stages of a handstand push-up, so that's how it builds shoulder strength and stability. More interesting is the fact that some pike push-up variations place increased demand on your core. A study comparing electromyographic activity during different pike variations found that performing pike push-ups on stable ground generated significantly lower core muscle activation compared to doing them on unstable surfaces like a Swiss ball or suspension device. The external obliques and rectus abdominis were activated more when instability was introduced. A sort of easier variation of pike push-ups is doing decline push-ups. These also target your upper chest and shoulders, and they're more difficult than regular push-ups. To make the most out of pike push-ups, don't just drop your head. Focus on pressing your hips high and lowering yourself in a straight line to really hit those shoulders hard. Keep your elbows at 45 degrees to protect your joints. Wide push-ups are number 5 here. Wide push-ups shift the emphasis to the outer chest and shoulder stabilizers. A study focusing on muscle activation during different palmar widths found that wide push-ups, done at 150% of shoulder width, significantly increased the activation of the serratus anterior. This is also known as the boxer muscle, and it's key for shoulder stabilization and scapular control. This makes wide push-ups especially effective for building shoulder stability and balance, in addition to working the chest. Interestingly, wide push-ups showed lower activation in the bigger pectoral muscle compared to narrow or neutral width push-ups, meaning they shift the focus more towards muscle stabilization than pure chest hypertrophy. In contrast, narrow push-ups, done at 50% shoulder width, activated the smaller pectoral muscle, triceps, and infraspinatus muscles more intensely. It's basically what I explained at the beginning of this video when I discussed the pec muscles' insertion points. But back to wide push-ups. To make the most out of them, lower your body until your chest almost touches the ground. Focus on a slow descent to increase time under tension and stimulate hypertrophy in the pecs. As you can see, these push-up variations help you build real upper body power and trigger new muscle growth. So, if you liked this video and maybe even learned something new, please like, subscribe, comment, and share with someone who might need to learn this as well. I personally thank you for watching and supporting the channel. Your likes, comments, and subscriptions help me keep creating. Let me know in the comments which push-up variation you'll try or any challenges you've faced in your upper body workouts. I'll meet you there.